AEW and WWE are the two biggest promotions in wrestling right now, and you would think that those signed there would want to stay there forever, right? Well, that's not the case, as today we will be counting down the top 5 wrestlers who quit WWE and AEW to sign with Impact Wrestling. Before we start, I'd like to say that this video is not based on the whole history of Impact, but only the Anthem era. Number 5. Jonathan Gresham. When it was announced that Tony Khan bought ROH, I was excited as I knew he would bring more eyes to the product and talent like Jonathan Gresham would finally get to showcase that talent in front of a bigger audience. I genuinely believed at the time that Gresham was one of the best wrestlers in the world and he was carrying the ROH flag high. It was announced that Gresham had signed with AEW but would barely be featured on AEW television and later on turned heel for some reason. At the Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view, Gresham, who was world champion, would face Claudio for the Ring of Honor title, and people noticed that he looked unmotivated during his entrance and he would later lose to Claudio in an 11-minute match. It was later revealed that Gresham asked for his release before the match because there was a lack of communication. This led to Gresham almost retiring from pro wrestling, and on the 15th of December, it was announced that Gresham had signed with Impact Wrestling, where he had since had great matches with the likes of Speedball Mike Bailey and Eddie Edwards. Number 4. Eric Young. On the 18th of July 2020, Eric Young made his Impact return after being released from the WWE, and he would be put in the main event spot immediately as he would win the Impact World Championship a month later. From there on, he would stick with Impact for 2 more years, and on the 22nd of December, he would have his last Impact match with Sami Callihan. At the time, no one knew where Eric Young was, but he had secretly signed with the WWE. 5 months later, he would show up in an Impact Wrestling ring, leaving many to ask what happened. In an interview, Eric Young said, "I signed up for one thing and it turned into something completely different. And personally, professionally, and more importantly for me, morally, I just couldn't work there anymore." Eric Young is currently back with Impact Wrestling, but it isn't clear whether he signed with them or not. Number 3. Rhino. In 2019, Rhino was signed with WWE, where he had a decent run, tagging with Heath, and they became the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Rhino would officially return to Impact Wrestling in 2019, feuding with Michael Elgin. He would later reveal that WWE offered him double his salary to stay, but he chose to sign with Impact as it offered more creative freedom. Rhino has since been Impact Tag Champ and challenged for the world title. He's also taken on the role of producer for Impact Wrestling. Number 2. Frankie Kazarian. Frankie Kazarian is a TNA legend whose first stint with Impact Wrestling began in 2003. Throughout his run, he would win multiple titles such as the X Division Championship and the Tag Team Championships with Christopher Daniels. He would leave TNA in 2014, where he would work for Ring of Honor, winning the Tag Champions there, and later signed with AEW. In AEW, he became the first ever Tag Team Champions alongside Scorpio Sky. While signed with AEW, he would have a few appearances with Impact Wrestling and also had a 40-minute classic with Josh Alexander, and on the 2023 Hard to Kill pay-per-view, he would announce that he had signed a long-term contract with Impact Wrestling.
Impact Wrestling, Frankie Kazarian is back home!
He He later revealed that he had 2 years left on his AEW contract, but still chose to leave the company. Frankie has since been on every single Impact Wrestling pay-per-view and is currently feuding with Eddie Edwards. Number 1. Trinity. Naomi, now known as Trinity, is known as one of the most charismatic women in professional wrestling, and she made history by becoming the first ever black WWE SmackDown champion and would win the belt on 2 different occasions. She would later on win the tag titles with Sasha Banks, as fans saw them as the ones who could bring life to the tag division. Fans were in shock when they found out that Trinity and Sasha had walked out of WWE. Sasha Banks, now known as Mercedes, would make her New Japan debut months later, leaving fans to speculate where Trinity would end up. In 2023, Impact would announce that Trinity would be heading there, giving them a lot of buzz and causing them to trend on social media. Trinity is now the Impact Knockouts champion and is undefeated in singles competition. It is unclear if she is on a pay-appearance deal or if she signed a short-term contract with Impact Wrestling. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe, and comment down what kind of videos you want to see next. Thank you.